We have an excellent panel here with us today, and they are going to share with you some of their experiences in finding and gaining employment here in the States, what they went through, what they learned through that process, and they're going to be sharing some tips and advice with you to help you to be successful as you start looking for your own full-time jobs here, and also co-op and internship searches as well. So a lot of the tips that they're going to share and pieces of information you'll be able to take with you and use no matter what it is that you're looking for.
My name is Takuo Rishihara. You guys can call me Tak. I work for the Boston Red Sox in their video production department. I'm a videographer, editor. Well, if you go to any sort of sporting event, normally there's a video board, and we control that. So everything that you see visually and hear, we run, other than the baseball game itself. The crack of the bat, the players running the bases. Other than that, everything that you see, even the lights, is all us. And we try to put on a show other than baseball for the fans. And how I got the job was through my NEU Cool about 2007, I believe. This is my second co-op opportunity. I applied for the job, and I got it. I think I beat out 97 kids from Northeastern or something like that, just about. And it was the interview process, which went 2 rounds. And ever since 2007, I think I co-opted with them for 2.5 periods, and then I did my OPT, which is something that I think you guys can all do as international students. And then I'm on my second year of my H-1B visa status right now.
Hi, I'm Kunal Fadnis. I'm originally from India. I came here at Northeastern in 2007, did my master's, graduated in December 2009. Have been working since January 2010, the same company as Castle Software. It's part of Bank of New York and Vortex. My company develops a software, it's in the financial services. It develops an order management system for hedge funds and traditional asset managers. The old conventional way was like pick up the phone, call the broker, you know, like, hey, can you buy me 1,000 shares of Google? But those were the good olden days. But now it's like everything, people need instant update of pricing, like every second of, 1 cent price changes. They're not buying 100 shares, they're buying million shares. Hedge funds, to classify as a hedge fund, you need to have at least $1 million assets under management. So, they're trading in very big numbers. So my job basically is to manage databases of all these hedge funds. We have more than 400 clients, and I manage databases. I got this job in November 2009, before I graduated. I was applying since September. I took a good 4 months before I was graduating. I started early. 2 months, nothing. No, not even like, hey, you're not good enough, or we're going to move with some other candidate. Nothing, no rejections, nothing. Then the rejections started coming in. Then I decided, very smart move, went to them, career services. They got down, oh, your resume is wrong. There was, like, they took a red pen. I still remember there must be at least 200 crosses. I just needed that one opportunity. Went there for my, prepped up, read about the company, what they do, who are the competitors, and I went in, gave the interview. Next week, they gave me the offer, which was good. And of course, like, I did my OPT, and then my H-1B started, and this is my second year on H-1B.
Hi, my name is Julianne Kennedy, and I'm from Ireland. I'm doing a Bachelor of Science in International Business. I'm still a senior, I don't graduate until May. So I did 2 years in Dublin, and then I moved over here in junior year. So this is my final year at Northeastern. I'm on a J1 visa, so that might be different to a lot of you here. So instead of a year of OPT, I have a year of academic training. It's the exact same thing, as far as I know, it's just a different name. So I graduated in May, and then I'm starting work on June 4th at Afanova. It's a market research company outside Boston. Career Link. First I met with Scott actually, and we went through, reviewed my resume, and we talked about cover letters, and he gave me a list of like where to look on the Husky Career Link website of what companies take international students. So I did that, and then I was applying, and I wasn't getting any kind of feedback either. And I kind of felt like just because I was an international student, there's like an X beside my name kind of. I'm like, I'm not going to get anything. And then I found this company on Husky Career Link. I really liked the sound of it, the sound of the role. So I applied there, and they said they liked my resume. I sent a cover letter as well, and then they asked me to come out to interview with them. But it's like about a 30-minute drive outside Boston, and I don't have a car. There's no public transport, so it would have been an effort to get there. So I was like, straight away I'm going to say, okay, I'm an international student, and like I have a year of academic training, but after that I would need like sponsorship. So I was upfront straight away from the offset. I didn't want to like make the journey out there and do the interview process and then like get rejected after that. So I told them, and they responded. They were like, oh, we have an attorney, so don't worry about any of that. So I went out, I did the interview, and they called me back the next day and asked me to come out again. So the following week I went out again, and then they started asking me questions like about my salary expectations and when I could start. Then I was like, okay, this is looking good, maybe I could get a job. So that was good. And then they asked me out again to kind of meet with some of the people that I would be working with. So I had lunch with them, and then when I came back from lunch, they had like a package with the offer letter, and they offered me to start after I graduate.
I'm Fibos. I'm a senior in Northeastern, graduating this June, and I'm currently employed at Staples and received my offer for a full-time position a few months ago, starting in July. So initially I was a co-op with them, and I got this job through the co-op office through my new school. I never applied for this job actually, they just forwarded my resume without asking. But I was lucky, and it came that I was a good fit for the position and ended up being hired under this position and not the ones I applied for. A year after that I'm still with them as a part-time, and it's a fun job. My team is great, and we're all international people in my team, so it was a great fit, and ended up receiving an offer from them. To be honest, I got some help for the resume and used it. At the same time, I was getting help through the co-op office, so this means you have so many resources here to take advantage of.
My name is Alex Bo. I'm from China originally. I did my high school there, and I went to Canada for undergrad. I did accounting undergrad and I worked 2 years there. Then moved down to States last September and started my master in information assurance Northeastern. And I went to the campus recruitment for PwC and got a full-time offer in September, and started this January. I'm in risk assurance of PwC. It's an accounting firm, public accounting firm. I studied accounting, and I worked not accountant, but like in the financial service industry for 2 years. But like I picture myself where I'm gonna be, and I found was like later on it's like IT audit is gonna be like a big part. Is like the demand is growing, especially I think if you can have both financial knowledge and IT knowledge with you, and probably you're on the right track. So I decided to do some additional study here in Northeastern because they have a great program in information assurance.
I started as a grad student here in September 2009. I graduated recently in February. That you might think why it is February, because I was working on my thesis and I had to extend a little bit. And I started my job search somewhere in October 2010 and started applying and stuff. I think careers we have this career fair, so that was my first interaction with all the companies and stuff. So I met a few recruiters over there. So it's a very important thing that you keep in mind whom you meet in the in the fairs, and take note of it. Like take their cards, business cards, and follow up with them. So that was my first interaction with the companies. And then after that, I worked a lot with Aileen. She worked on my resume and stuff, and I think that helped me a lot to get to reach out. It really depends on how you portray yourself in front of the employers. You should be really confident about yourself and talk whatever you know, and don't try to show off too much. Like if you don't know stuff, you should be frank enough, and that's what will help you to get a good job.
I know as far as my interview goes, even though it's not like a business situation job, we still have to keep a pretty professional stature when you're at the job. And for my interview, I went in a normal normal suit, tie, shirt, button down, all that kind of stuff. And she said, I talked to my boss after, she said that doing that is way better than someone else who would just wear jeans just because it's a production job. It's still a normal job, you're applying for it, you're competing against other people, especially us international kids, we're competing against everyone. And the fact that she was like, you came in a suit, just that, and I've seen people come in ripped up jeans, hoodies, and all that kind of stuff, and that just, you know, you get a step ahead of people already. And, you know, coming from Northeastern, I hope that everyone's taking care of taking an opportunity of the co-op program that they give you over here. You guys have the chance of coming out with so much experience from the school just because of the co-op program. And because of that experience I had before, that also put you apart or set you apart from all other people applying from BC, BU, all these other schools who sometimes don't get the opportunity to get that work experience before graduating.
They already shortlisted, so they know what is on your resume. So they're gonna grill you on your resume, that's for sure. But the other thing which they want us to know is how you can work in a team environment, how your logical thinking works. That's very key parts to any interview, is that it's not only your resume which is important, but how you bring your personality out there. Like some people, we have rejected just because they were smart. They knew all the stuff, but they were very nervous. They lacked confidence.
For me, when I was talking, when I think about what they asked me and what skills I could bring to the company, I played up a lot about the fact that I have a lot of international experience. Like I have studied abroad 2 years in Europe, did a co-op in Europe, then studied in the US for 2 years, and then did a co-op in the US. So I felt like that was, so, like, that gave me a lot that I could speak about, and they were interested to hear where I worked in Dublin and like what I'd done in my first co-op. I also think like the personality thing is a major factor. Like for my job, they did have a high GPA requirement. I think you had to have over a 3.5 or 3.7 or something. And they did give me an IQ test when I went in there. I played up the fact that I was an international student and how that was such an asset for me, and like that maybe people from the States didn't have that kind of experience, like moving their whole life, or like, so I talked a lot about that a lot. So yeah, I definitely think that in the interview they want your personality to shine through much more than, they want you to talk about your resume and what you've done and how it fits with the company, but I think that they are looking for your personality to shine through. I think when in the cover letter as well, I think it's really important that you look through the job description and then match your cover letter to the job description. I think that helped me a lot as well, because they did talk about my cover letter actually in the interview and how I matched my skills to the skills that they were looking for. So I think that if you have a good balance between personality and your past experience, like that's on your resume, I think that's the best way.
So my opinion is that you have to find your niche and try to target a position with that. And when I say find your niche, you really need to go out and find it. Find what people don't do and what you can do, what you can learn aside from college, because we all take pretty much the same classes in the same majors. Find the extra like tech courses that are offered, the software courses. Try to learn as much as you can apart from school, because that's the extra things that get you the job. And try to see what's missing from the workforce. Try to see, I mean, we are competing on a different level because we have this barrier of being international. And it's mainly a legal barrier here. They have some limits to how much they can hire. So it's much harder for us, and you definitely have to go and find what you can do about that.
First of all, like coming from the new CPAs, right? And for IT auditor, they need now because CISA is Certified Information System Auditor. So I just did exams in Canada. So I did both exams, passed those, and I actually then applied for Northeastern because I know, like, because at the time, like, I didn't have any IT knowledge or computer science background at all. Like how I did before with computers, like playing games, surfing on net, watching videos, that's all. But I mean, like, and then, I mean, like, if I talk to an employer, I want to show them, like, my eager of learning, right? Because, like, I'm new in the field, but that's what I did. I passed the exam, even though I had no background. I studied hard on it. Even though I passed the exam, I don't know how I did it, but I passed it, and then still keep learning it. And so after I think, okay, that's all I can prepare, and then I just came down here, and I went to Career Center, Scott, with Lynn, and they helped me clean my resume, and they helped me like what you have to look for, like. And so when PwC came into campus, I just talked to a partner directly and prepared my elevator speech for like a minute and a half, and tell them what I did during the past year and what I'm looking for. He's kind of impressed, and he just wrote my resume direct to HR. So I didn't even interview on campus. I got the interview and talked directly.
First and foremost thing is get your basic strongs. That's what I did because I was given some questions that I didn't know the answer upfront. But be confident, ask questions. Ask a lot of questions to them also, because when they throw a question, they tend to be ambiguous like 90% of the time. So they see how you think about the question itself. Are you asking the right questions in return? And how do you approach the problem? So you should make sure that you know your basics and you know how to approach a problem. So I think that sets you apart from other interviewers.